guys, what's going on? This is episode 1 of the Python tutorial series. Welcome. Today we'll be learning about variables, print statements, inputs, and variable types. So we'll start with variable types, okay? We have integers, which are any whole number or negative number, 1, 2, 3, or -5. We have floats, which basically means like it has a decimal point, 1.0, 3.8. Strings we use the double quotes or the single quotes to declare a string. So either one works, but it's common to use the double quote. So it holds a sentence or a word you want to see or print. We'll learn about printing statements later on in this video. So, for example, here we have high. So it's telling us that the variable that we will have, my string, it will hold high. Here we have the same thing, but with single quotes. It's slightly more common to use double quotes, but single quotes are used for like settings and stuff. We also have booleans, which are true or false. Another abbreviation for true is 1 and false is 0, and we'll use that later, like really later, for episode 6 maybe. When we're learning about AI, it will pick a decision, 0 or 1, and we'll map it to like true or false, up or down, or what it will do. So booleans are kind of important. Lists. So a list is basically like your shopping list. You have a list of the things you need to use or a list of things you have. Like 1, 2, and welcome. You can see that this is a string. And we declare lists using the square brackets. Okay? And we can even find what's this one. For example, if I want to find 1, or whatever is at welcome, or 1 to the third one, we would do this, or the list, and then 2. Why 2? Didn't that give us 2? No. So indexing in most languages, especially Python, will start off 0, 1, 2, 3. So 1 is at index 0, 1, 2. So if we print my list, bracket 2, it will give us welcome. And that usually works for all lists. Sets are a different type of list. We call them using curly brackets, and they're kind of special because whenever we declare it, like 1, 2, 3, 2, there are two really important signals, or we could say signals. 1, 2, 3, 2, yeah? But its output, when I print the value, it will say 1, 3, 2. And the reason is sets don't allow duplicates. So if we have duplicate things and you want to just remove them, so we just get the things that are in it, or the actual variables, we can just use a set. But the thing is that whenever we call them, like my set 1 is equal to this, maybe it could be in any order, like 3, 1, 2. So it's not really, it's kind of randomized. Tuples are called through curly brackets, and they are immutable, which means we cannot access it more easily. Like we can access the variable like through index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till infinity. But the thing is, we cannot delete or change a variable. So here in lists, we can just say 0 is equal to 6, yeah? Telling us that 1 will change to 6. We can do that, but here, it's gonna throw an error because tuples are immutable. So we can kind of use tuples sort of like throwing data into a cage and just locking it and throwing the key away. You can't change anything in it. You can add or delete and access, but you can't change the variable. Like here, yeah? I can add 3.5. But oh, I think I did a mistake. I cannot change it to 4. I have to remove it and then add it again. Dictionaries. Now, I really like dictionaries because for me they kind of feel like databases. We call them through curly brackets, which kind of feels like sets, and they're similar but not exact. I'll show you how. We use a key and a corresponding value using colon, like user and Adam. So if we try to find my dictionary and find the user, it will say Adam. So it's sort of like a shortcut, like you have a really long password and then you can just give it like a variable, but here it can hold multiple. So it's sort of like a list, but the thing is that you can give it instead of giving it an index, you give it a key, okay? So let's learn about how to declare variables, shall we? So let's say my variable 1 is equal to, oh yeah, and we use the ternary operator equal, just a single equal when we want to declare something like my name is equal to Bob or something. So here if I write Bob, we are declaring this variable as a string. Literal, you can see it's a Bob, okay? But if we set it to 5, let's say, you get literal 5. Now let's say we have my variable 2 is equal to 3. Let's say we want to get a result is equal to, let's say we want to subtract the 2. Usually we would do 5 minus 3, yeah? But let's make Python automatically use the values we input here and calculate it. My variable 1, let's do minus my variable 2. So in this case we're subtracting 5 and 3. It gives us 2. Oh, and you can see over all of these it says variable. Also it gives us the name and then what type it is. Most of them are literal, but we have objects like classes and other statements and stuff, but they're kind of advanced. Let's learn about print statements. Print, you know that every Python tutorial that goes, the most important thing to learn is hello world, and then you run it and then you get that. Yeah, so basically that's what it's doing. So if I hover over print, almost everything in VS Code gives us its description. So only this first one is important. Prints the value to a stream or to std out by default. Well, that's for C++, but and the terminal. Basically, it means whatever we input in here, it will flush it into here. So let's try printing the result of subtracting space. And I'll show you why later. No, it's my variable 1. And I'll show you guys why I added the spaces in a moment. My variable 2 is result. So if I print this, we get an error. It says type error, so we can say, so type error tells us that it's a problem with these things, the type of the variable. It tells us that line 14, which is this thing, the print over here, can only concatenate, which means merge, string, not integer, to string. So it can only do like hello plus welcome. It cannot do hello plus 5. So what we can do is use Python's built-in function or method, string. If I hover over string, it's a class, which means it's an object. So it's a different type of variable, or sorry, what? Yeah, it's sort of a variable, like you could call it. So let's take a look at its description. Creates a new string object from the given object. So it means this variable has 5 in it. So basically what it's doing is it's gonna turn the 5 into 5. This, good, bad, error. So this one, we're doing what Python wants us to do. So that's good. So we just need to do this on every variable. String, and run it, and you get the result of subtracting 5 and 3 is 2. Now let's take a look at this. Can you see like how much work this can take? Like, it kind of feels like a lot. Like, you have to add the space, then you have to convert it to a string. Also, I'll show you guys why I did not want, or why most people add a space, and it's because then it's not gonna like print it correct, because it's just merging the strings. So if we have two strings, one lowercase and one uppercase, and we just merge them without any space, it's just gonna be like one sentence. But if we want them two different words, we have to add a space. So that's why we add a space. But this, I mean, imagine just going to work and then you just having to do this. I mean, come on. I mean, the first thing is, what's wrong is that it takes a lot of time. It's more prone to errors, because here maybe you do a string, maybe you mistype this, maybe you forget to add a space, maybe you forget to add plus. It's just like there's a lot of room to make an error. So let's make it better. Let me introduce you to f-strings. Now, some of you are wondering, what does f-string mean? It means formatted string literal. So remember here, when we hover, it says literal, or holds the value of, and string is what we learned up here. So formatted basically means when we merge things, it auto formats. For example, we will do here the result of subtracting. Now, do we add a plus here? Nope, that's wrong. What we do is the entire f string puts it in one double quote. So you can see that we only have these two plus this. That's all we're gonna need. So we're gonna add a space here. We're gonna say my variable 1 and my variable 2 is result. So what do you see that's different from the last one? It's really nice, you have your entire sentence in one nice F string. It looks really clean. I mean, your brain, when you look at it, you can already say the result of subtracting this and this is this. You can already and it's also really, it's kind of hard to make errors. And that's because formatted string literal basically means that whatever one we have, whatever variable type we have, it will convert it into a string. So it's almost impossible to forget a string or something because you don't even need to do that. Boom! You see that? That looks much better. And I mean, this just tells the person who's reviewing you that you're a pro. This just screams pro. Okay, let's learn about input, because imagine having the user to go into the program and change something. It's not good. So what we can do is do input, and then we'll do whatever we want, or the prompt here. Read a string from standard input. For example, pick a number. Sorry. Pick a number again. And then we'll subtract them and this. So if we run it, pick a number. Let's say 18 minus 2. And it says unsupported operand type or types for minus string and string. The reason is this thing, you can see it returns a string object. You can see it also has a string here. So not good. Something simple we can do to change this is do integer. And that is what most people do, and I mean it's something common. So we'll do print, let's do that same thing, 18, but this time 5. And it says 13. We already have our little mini calculator, but it only does one operation. But don't worry, by episode 4 we'll do a entire calculator in the terminal. So basically we'll build an entire program that just does this. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you like this video. See you next time at episode 2, and I will be posting all of the code and even a help center, sneak peek, and everything in a Discord and WhatsApp group. If you guys want, you guys can even DM me, ask anything else, give ideas, suggestions, anything you want. And see you next time.